everyone. Atsign community. Let me stop this music because I know it's really good, but we have to move on with our day. All right. Happy Friday. It has been so long since our last demo day, and I am so happy to be back in front of all of you again. We're back. We're back. But this is no regular demo day, just like our previous ones have been. This one, as you may see, is an interns demo day. We have had the wonderful opportunity of bringing on 19 individuals. All are special in their own ways, and all have provided us incredible projects and tasks this summer. And I am happy to present them all today to you. Well, most of them. We have so many projects and tasks to show off that we've split this demo day into two. That's right. We will be having a demo day today, of course, and next week as well. And so, without further ado, let's meet the interns. And up first, we have Alvaro coming all the way from Spain to demo his password manager command line interface. Alvaro, are you there?
Hello, Tyler.
Woo! Welcome to demo day. Are you excited?
Thank you. Nice to be here. Yeah, of course. Really excited.
Right. The floor is all yours, sir.
Love it. Nice. So, hello everyone. I'm Alvaro, and I'm going to show you the password manager, a password manager developed with the Java SDK. Before starting, I would like to thank you, Minu, Gary, and Kelvin, for helping me with some doubts about the protocol or ways to proceed in some scenarios. Also, thank you, Jeremy, because he programmed some of the methods of the Java SDK, which without this program wouldn't be working right now. So thank you a lot. And well, now let's go with the presentation. Well, first of all, why have I created a password manager? The Google Chrome Password Manager, for example, is possibly one of the most used nowadays by a large proportion of users. It's simple and intuitive. It generates relatively secure passwords, and it's integrated into the navigator, allowing the user to save and autocomplete passwords directly. However, security is a problem. If your PC isn't protected by a password or someone finds out which is that password, that person will have access to all the passwords stored in your accounts or navigator. That is without mentioning the numerous privilege escalation attacks existing in Windows, which could compromise, again, the security of those passwords. At this point, you will tell me, but Alvaro, if someone finds the @keys file, that person will also have access to everything. That's true. But it's a second layer of security. Getting access to the PC is not enough. For example, if a security-conscious user decides to save that @keys file on a USB or even an NFC tag in the future, that person could literally put the key on the lock when accessing a service. That makes a huge difference. In the future, we will bring our access keys to our data with us, like we do with our home keys and our mobile phone. How does it work? Well, firstly, we use the scan verb with a regex you see here, right here, the pass manager regex, to get all the @keys, which are concretely self keys, which contain the passwords. Secondly, we use the lookup verb as we are connected to our secondary to see the keys to each of those @keys to get their corresponding values, which is the password information. And finally, we can add or update keys with the update verb, as you see in the third line of code. Well, what happens when something changes? This is something particular from my implementation. I just saw that more calls to the server will mean more money, because that involves processing time, and it will be less efficient. So what I do is to search all the keys at the start, at the beginning of the program, and I try to mirror those server changes and copy those modifications and apply them in the local memory. So as we want to do as few updates as possible. And yeah, less calls means definitely a better performance for IoT devices, which can be greedy with limited resources which they have. So this is definitely a good way to proceed. And now I'm going to show you a little bit about that program. So first of all, we connect to the Atsign server, as we see here. Now we are connected. We are prompt with the main menu. And now we have different options. For example, we can look up a password just to see if it's a password. I made some examples here. Imagine we have a service name called Google, and we have the password, the username, testing@gmail.com. We can just select the index number 2, and we see the password. That's 01. We can also search concrete terms. For example, I want to search @sign, and I get the concrete index @sign for that password. We can just see it in this list, a very secure pass. We can also do some more things as add a new password. We can add a new password called sample for the service demo day. It's going to be a super secret password, so it won't be possible to see it in the prompt. I'm going to write it. Okay, and now that we have a password, we can choose to add a username. Why is this optional? Because we may have or not a username. It could be a bank, for example, without any user, just a PIN code. So that's optional. For now, we're going to add one. We're going to call it Atsign demo. And that's all. It's been created. Now we can list again and see that the demo day password, which we just created, is here. And we can look up it. This is the example pass I chose. And this is the whole information. The ID is just shown for now for organizing purposes to follow an order when developing, but it can be removed in the future. And finally, we can manage those passwords. For example, we can take the Google one, and we can choose to delete the password or update it. We're gonna delete it per prompt and a special message that the password is going to be deleted forever. And yeah, we say yes again. It's completely deleted. We're gonna list it again, and the password isn't here anymore. The Google one has disappeared completely. And as I said, we can also modify some files. For example, we're going to modify the Atsign one, and we're going to change the username. So instead of hello@atsign.com, it's going to be hello. And yeah, now we can list the passwords again. Go here and see that password username has completely changed to hello. That's all. We finish the session, we are prompt a message, and we are disconnected from the server. Here it is. So that's all. Thank you. Any question? I'm going to read the chat now.
All right, that is incredible. Great work, Alvaro. And how long did that take you?
This week. I've been working for the whole week on this project. So yeah.
And what else have you done over the course of this internship, and what will you be demoing next week?
I also created a tutorial and found a way to install the DES, which is the secondary server of our technology, into our Raspberry Pi, which is really interesting for IoT stuff. So we can create our devices maybe in every kind of place, such as farms, any place of the city, our houses. We can create those servers and later on bound some other IoT stuff. This, for example, this microprocessor. We can connect that to that Raspberry Pi and perform different operations completely privately and secure. And yeah, that's one of the things. I've also worked a little bit on the PrivateFit app, which you will see really soon. And I've been learning a lot also, and I've been testing the secondary servers compatibility with versions, which is also important because we want to know which is the most older version, the minimum version which we can use for that. So yeah, those are just some of the things which I've been doing, for example. I will be demoing more things next week.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Great job, Amara. And I'm excited for
Thanks.
next week's demo.
Thank you, Tyler.
All right. See ya. Oh, wait. There's a question.
There is a question.
What was your favorite challenge in this internship?
Oh, I think definitely I like doing this password manager. Completely. Yeah. I like doing the tutorial because it was a challenge to know how to concretely and concisely communicate what to do in order to allow any kind of user, from the most advanced to the most simple, to most starting user, to create a secondary server on their Raspberry Pi. And secondly, this password manager CLI, which I liked a lot too. I think that's all.
Great work, Alvaro. Very proud. And you still have one more week to go, so I'm excited to see what you'll do with it.
Thanks, Tyler.
Right. See ya. All right. Oh, I cut him off with the thank you, but he said thank you. Up next, we have Rachel, and I will add her to the stream. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm good. How are you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing very well. The floor is yours.
Thank you. This already feels like we're podding. Awesome. So, my name is Rachel Pack. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm a marketing intern. So what I've been working on has been the Flip the Internet podcast. So what we've been up to is there are about 4 hosts, Tyler, Hakeem, Wade, and I, who you all know at Atsign, and we want to do an Atsign podcast. So what does Flip the Internet entail? We just want to talk to everyone who wants to help us flip the internet. And what that means, well, I'll let the little intro demo explain to you. So right up here, pardon me, I have our Anchor site, which is where we will be, how we will broadcast and distribute our podcast. So this first episode, or this trailer, is actually, it's kind of like hidden in the depths of Spotify right now. So we're on Anchor and Spotify, since they're connected, for us to be able to upload and get it approved to Apple Podcasts. So then you'll be able to listen to it on Overcast, Apple Podcast, everywhere you like to listen. And so let's go give it a gander. So this is our trailer, our little highlight reel into what is Flip the Internet.
Rachel, I don't think we can hear that.
Pardon?
I don't think we can hear that.
Oh, man. Okay. Should I, let's see. How do I share my audio?
That is a good question.
Oh, I'm in audio. Okay. Maybe if I just take my earbuds out and then I play it out loud.
Yeah, you can try that, certainly.
Okay, we'll give it a gander.
Nope. Is this like, oh, go ahead, you were muted.
What does the flip the internet mean to you?
Want to flip the internet for a better future. And what that really means is flip everything back to you.
Completely reversing everything that's been laid down foundationally.
I'm really big into privacy, so you should own your data. People should ask you for permission. If we change that, then a lot of these industries, whether it's security, whether it's medical, whether it's insurance or IoT, all those things sort of change.
Total reversal of values. It means a reversal of who's prioritized on the internet, who has their self protected on the internet. The current state of the internet is very corporate. It's mechanical. It's impersonal, and it doesn't treat people like people. It treats us like we're statistics, we're values, we're dollar signs, and that's
speak on it.
That's dehumanizing. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Rachel.
Yep. No, speak on it.
We're more than just numbers and data and money, So
what is Atsign? I would definitely say Atsign is not just a startup company, but a family who's trying to spread their love and, feeling of community throughout the rest of the world, because we're all people. We're all our own individuals, just like you guys said, and we all have the right to our own information. We are using what are known as @signs, your own unique identifier on the internet nowadays. What's different with our @sign is all of your information subsides behind it, and the only person who has access to that is yourself, and of course the people that you also allow to have access to it. So if anyone wants to have your information, they have to expressly request it, and you can always take away that access as well.
Now, why is Atsign doing this podcast? Why are we doing Flip the Internet podcast?
Because we value people here.
We're trying to make the internet a better place. Along that journey, we surely cannot do that by ourselves. We're an open source company, so we really rely on the community to build the future for the rest of us. And in doing so, we meet so many amazing people, whether they work with us or not. These are people who are trying to fundamentally change how things are done. So the internet kind of sucks right now. So let's just talk to people who are trying to make a difference. We can really have some really amazing conversations and hopefully learn a thing or two about what the future might look like.
Just like Miss Yellett said, I put my thing down, flip and reverse it as your vertical finding them. And I think for us is the internet.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
You're listening to Flip the Internet. We'll catch you on the flip side. Flip side, flip side.
So that is a little intro into the Flip the Internet podcast. So we'll be talking about all things flipping the internet, whether it's a little bit more niche about Atsign and what we're doing here, or we're talking to people about what we think the advertising and marketing world is looking like right now and what it looks like for users and their data. And so we will have 2 episodes out in this upcoming week, whereas one where it's a little bit more of a fleshed out, get to know your hosts, get to know the nitty gritty of Flip the Internet, and then one which is called 300 Trillion, and you'll see what that one entails. And we're just going to keep rolling with a bunch of different topics. It could be a different topic every week. And if you want to already go follow us, you can look us up on Spotify, and we will be there. I'm going to just do a little, just so we can give it a gander. Let's see. Are you able to see that? I don't know if Spotify blacks out. Perfect. Flip the Internet. And then you pull up podcast, see all, and there we are. And there is our little trailer. And that is all we have up for right now. But in the coming days, you will be able to hear and listen and see much, much more. So that is Flip the Internet.
All right. That is awesome, Rachel. I am so ready to listen to myself talk.
Yeah, you sound good.
I think that was a really good intro and highlights to it. That got me excited for it, and I was the one that was there. So I can only imagine what that's like for people that have not heard it already. Are there any questions in the chat about the podcast? If not, I guess you can talk about a little bit of what you've done over the internship, some things that you've learned, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, for sure. I love doing the internship at Atsign because I came in knowing nothing about tech or, even like marketing. A lot of my experience in like advertising and marketing has just been like kind of inherent social media use. So I've always had like all those existential questions of like, who has my information? What is happening? Are people really fracking or mining for my data? And so being at Atsign, it's helped me really kind of have a lot more transparency in my internet usage, and also as it becomes more of a conversation that I feel like has been building up for a long time since we were, at least I'm 21, so when I was like a preteen, when they started talking to us about internet safety and everything, and we were kind of like, oh, like it is what it is, but we have such a heavy usage of it now in our day-to-day lives, it's inevitable. So really getting to fully understand that has been really nice, and also collaborate with people who have so many different interests and just are actually, you can tell, very passionate about what they do, about flipping the internet. So that's why I'm so excited that we're doing the podcast, because then it's just being able to give people that transparency and have that open conversation, communication about flipping the internet and what we do at Atsign, so they kind of get to know us a little bit more, because Atsign is for the people. So we want to invest in you and have you be invested in us for the people who are trying to help flip the internet.
Awesome. And when is episode 1 out?
Episode 1 should be out probably today.
All right, cool.
If not in the coming week. So
is it only on Spotify for now until we expand?
For now, it is on Spotify and Anchor, and then within the next 10 to 14 days, it will be on Apple Podcasts once it gets approved. So we just approved today.
So feel free to send me the link to that, and I will put it in the chat for all of our wonderful viewers and listeners.
Awesome.
Other than that, thank you so much, Rachel. That is incredible. Great work.
Thank you, Tyler.
Bye. All right. Up next, we have Noor. And here's Noor. Are you there, Noor? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I won't be able to show my screen. Turn on my camera. Is that okay?
That's okay. And
the
floor is all yours.
All right. So, hi, everybody. My name is Noor Hawad. I'm one of the interns. I was marketing development, but mostly like marketing. I've basically been helping people around here and there and whatever projects they have. But my main goal that I was doing in this internship was that I really just wanted to try developing this kind of project. I started at a hackathon last year. It's called Octolink. So essentially it's like this messaging app that's meant to just help people who are basically like introverts or antisocials and just really want to like have that kind of push to break out of their shells and just open up to just the new people, making new friends and such. The way how it works is that there are like all these mini games provided. Well, it's really 4 so far, and you basically choose whichever one you want. And depending on your performance in it, it'll pair you with another user to really just like give you that push to start a conversation with somebody new and essentially start a new connection. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. And the thing is, I'm like really, really new to like Flutter and Dart, really just app development in general. I started out this internship like really nervous, having nowhere to.
You're not sharing your screen. You're on the StreamYard browser.
Oh shoot.
It's okay. Sorry.
Sorry. Do I press share screen?
Yeah, your entire screen.
Mm-hmm. Do you see it?
Yeah, and then try exiting out of StreamYard to your presentation. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now the floor is.
Well, I mean, I was gonna like get to this in a bit, but like the point is, we're making this on Flutter and Dart, but I'm really new to it, and Minu was like helping me out with it and such, but I don't really have it working on my computer so far. Hopefully by next week I'll be able to run it and just have it and be able to present it like the code itself. But right now I'll just be presenting like screenshots of how it looks like on the Flutter like Android emulator. So yeah. This is really what I have so far. So essentially when you open this app, you start with the sign-in page, the landing page, really onboarding page. You got your sign-in and create an account buttons. I was hoping that when you sign in, you essentially all you have to do is just just sign in with your @sign, so that it'll just be more, it'll be just be swifter to just log in, and you'd have that kind of assurance that it's secured because they're @signs. And once you open it, the first thing it'll be sent to is your chat page because it's a messaging app. So and then the next thing you can see is also your profile page. It's self-explanatory. Just talk about yourself in it, so it would help you introduce yourself to other users. And then this is the third thing. This is kind of the core of the whole app. So there's this kind of page where it has all of the mini games, or I call them octo games to make it fun. And so these mini games are, like I said, you play them, and then it will, based on your performance, it will pair you with other users. So you got 4 games. So far all I got is that the page that shows whenever you click any of these games. For example, like checkmate, it shows you the it shows you the game, it shows you the instructions, and then to begin, and then just the other 4 games as well. The other 3 games. But the point is, with these games, the way how I'm planning to implement them to build them moving forward is that I don't really want to use like Flutter and Dart. I'm hoping to just like kind of implement like just other APIs and platforms that I heard about that can really just bring them to light, like such as Twilio, because in one of these games, it kind of essentially uses like a user to chat kind of interaction. And I know that Twilio has that function, and I also heard about Dashbot, things like that. And then also a way to implement like Zoom or Google Meets into one of these games, because one of them just kind of like pairs you or groups you with like other users into like a Zoom. And then a way to just kind of interact with AI, because 2 of these games is about like a user talking to an AI, and then it just kind of quizzes them on their knowledge in a certain topic. But yeah, so I'm about done. So yeah, what you see right now is just really what has been done with Flutter. And I believe that this is about everything I need with Flutter. So right now I'm just hoping to use those other platforms I mentioned to just build the other apps, and hopefully, because I'm like really new to programming, and this is like the first time I ever made a project, like an app project. So I'm hoping just kind of open source this project so that if any other developers want to contribute, they can feel free to. If anyone has like any experience with those platforms I mentioned, and anyway, just kind of just build this project further and bring it as close to publish as possible. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, that's about what I've done with this project so far, and I'm really glad that I got to bring it this far. Hopefully next week I will be demoing it, like the actual code. But this is what I got so far. And secondly, what I've been doing in this internship was that I kind of co-hosted this Figma workshop with another intern, Jeremy, who, and we essentially just really wanted to just kind of like encourage our fellow interns to really just use this platform, as it's been really like on the rise lately. A lot of people are using it so far, just kind of visualize or build their visualizations for their projects and such. I've been using it to make this project, and it really just helps me in just kind of having a backbone of what I want to do. So yeah, those are just the 2 big things I've really done in this internship, and I'm really grateful to have the pleasure to get to be here and work with so many amazing people.
All right. Wonderful presentation, Noor. Do we have any questions? I guess one of the questions you kind of already answered was, what else have you done? But what was something that was very challenging to you, or something that you found really fun during the internship?
I would say something that was challenging to me was, well, other than like my public speaking skills, which I also always struggle in, I would say just really just trying to learn about like how to learn just like programming, and just kind of keeping up with how other development interns are moving, because like I'm really slow with just learning how to program in general. I was like following tutorials. It was really struggling because it's like really intimidating to me. But I mean, I really just did my best to just keep pushing myself to just try these new challenges and just build my development skills as much as I can. Still right now I would consider myself really beginner level in development, but just being around an environment of like all these like really talented developers, it really just pushes me to like try my hardest to just like keep up and just have that kind of start in my whole development experience. So yeah, that's about it.
All right. And what would you say to someone who is learning Flutter?
That okay, I'm not saying I can say it's easy or not, but I would say just like don't be intimidated. Really just like check out the tutorials on YouTube. They really just like break down what it's all about and just how to start. And even though it looks like a bunch of mumbo jumbo at first, you just gotta like understand what each of these lines mean, and then also like it's really automated. You just like kind of write a few letters, and it would like know exactly what you're looking for. It will just give you the whole layout, so it's not much memorization either. So it's really like not too scary when you get to know the nitty gritty of it. So I would say just really push yourself to try learning it, and just don't be scared about just what it looks like. It's really not that hard when you understand what it is.
All right. Well, great job, Noor. I'm very excited to see what happens when you open source Octolink. And you have 1 week left of the internship. I'm excited to see what you'll do with that. All right.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Thank you, Noor. All right. Up next, we have Kelvin. And here he is. Kelvin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You can hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir. I will bring your screen up here. Feel free to go to your presentation.
Okay.
All right, the floor is yours.
You can see my screen?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So we have been working with PrivateFit app. It's an end-to-end secure fitness and application built on art platform from Atsign company. We are a team of about 4 developers, and our goal is to create an end-to-end fitness app where you own your own data, your fitness data, either be steps tracked, either be the food you have eaten, the nutrition contents of the food you have eaten, either be your menstrual cycles, and everything. We do not take your data. Everything is encrypted and stored at your Atsign secondary server. So I can start sharing here. So our app is a fitness app. So one of our main goal at the beginning was to make it as interactive and fun as possible. So this is our app. When we launch it, I think you can see it clearly. The first thing you are going to see is that we have one of the fanciest splash screen ever. These splash screens are 3D objects which you can interact, and when you click a certain point, you can just maintain the angular and the linear velocity of these 3D objects. So it's just an interactive splash screen for the PrivateFit app. So as you can see, and down here you can see we can onboard our Atsign. Onboarding our Atsign is simple. Now we are onboarding our Atsign, and we need to wait a bit. Okay. After onboarding our Atsign, we go to the homepage, which we get. For now, we just have the steps count and the menstrual the period tracking feature implemented. This is what we show to the home screen for now, but it's going to be improved, and it's going to be improved as we are going on with the internship. And as you can see, one of the challenge, one of our colleague, Chemi and Alvaro, tried to work out on the step counting feature. And one of the challenge I think we have in fitness data is that fitness data is strictly regulated by the platforms, the Android and iOS platforms. So we have to use either Google Fit API or iOS Health Kit to get these data, but it seems to be you have to install Google Fit first, and so that you can get this data. So what we have done right now is that we are just fetching the steps count from the pedometer sensor on your mobile phone, and after fetching it, we are showing it here and then saving it to to the secondary server. Another feature we implemented is as a fitness application, you need to track your food intakes and specifically the nutritional values of your food. So what we did is the first idea was just having a page where you can fill in the form about the food you have taken, the nutritional value, the calories and stuffs. But it is tedious. So one of the ways we did it to simplify this process was to implement a nutritional scanner in which you can just scan the barcode of the food or drink you have taken, and you can store that to the secondary server. So I'll just demo it right now with a bottle of Coca-Cola. I'm going to go to tab 3, which is a nutritional scanner page, and you can see I can just bring the bottle here, the QR code, and it will capture the QR code. And after that, it will fetch the different nutritional values of that product, and we'll have our our nutritional values here, which are going to be saved to the secondary server. Another thing was implementing the settings page, where you can get you can manage the state of our application. As you can see, we have the profile here, we have the profile name here, and this profile name is stored in secondary server. So I can even come here and you can see I can just come here and edit it like this, and either can cancel this process or I can submit the results, or I can just use the keyboard and say submit these results. And you can see here it has called the secondary server and it's now syncing, and here's the sync result of the data. We have just updated our username. And when we quit this app, or when we just restart this app again, because our username is in secondary server right now, our username is in secondary server, so we are onboarding it again. We do not use shared preferences, so everything is stored into the secondary server, either be the fitness data, the personal customization data and stuff. So when you come here, you'll see that it takes a little bit of time and it will fetch from the secondary server. And you can see the fetch here is completed with the username. Here it's a username on here. So from the secondary server, and we have it. And another thing we wanted to implement was as a fitness application and a secure one. One of the very important data, especially for girls and women's, is their period tracking. So cycle tracking. So we have implemented that on this app also, and all the data is stored at the secondary, encrypted and stored to the secondary server. And after what we do in this app is just we are fetching the data from the secondary server and passing it to an algorithm which will determine different period days. So I can come to this is just an overview in the home page. So when you go to the period feature here, you can see, you can see now here, you can see it has taken the data it has fetched the data from the secondary server, and we have passed it to the algorithm to calculate the bleeding days and the fertile phase start and fertile phase end, and plot it to the calendar plus the psychoanalysis of today. So that's what we have been doing at PrivateFit team. Any questions?
Wow. And I'm sorry, Kelvin, you did all of this over the span of the internship.
Yes, actually. But also, as you can see, Okay, we have a okay, we have a body state there. I can't add new events.
Now it's a real demo.
Okay.
That's how you know
Yeah,
the code
that's
is
a
real.
demo. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we done that. One thing about Arts platform is that, Arts platform is that we have we have a lot of widgets which are already made, like the onboarding widget here. It was supposed to take a week to implement it, but as you can see, we are just calling the onboarding widget, providing it with at client preference, and we have the app. We can onboard an Atsign. And another thing is that also this setting page here, the UI, you can see it's from our brother Mino. He shared some, we took some code from one of his app and implemented it our own way here. So the main thing about implementing an app in Atsign was that it's the widget. It makes it easier to do things as fast as possible. So that's the main thing, I think, which contributed to this being so fast.
I've been saying it for like a year and a half now. When you work on the app platform, development is just so much easier. I'm happy that people are now starting to see that I was not just talking a bunch of nonsense. I was being for real. I was being genuine, and now I'm really happy to see that you can make an entire app in less than 2 months. Do you plan on launching this to the App Store?
Of course, yes. Now it just compiles to Android because those are the tools I have right now. I mean, Android and Windows, but I think it will need some very few tweaks to work on iOS because let's say for the steps counting, we are using the pedometer sensor. So I think we have some configuration to do in iOS part, and it's just 2 lines of code. I mean, and it will work. I think that's
awesome.
That's the only thing. Yes.
And when do you think this will be like in the Google Play Store and stuff?
As you can see, the UI here homepage is not very good. It's not very nice, but after a month or so, I think it will be good to go.
Awesome. Do you plan on open sourcing this as well?
Of course, it's open source. Yes.
Of course. What type of silly question is that?
Awesome. Yeah, it's open source. Right now, you can go to the GitHub repo and fork it and run it. You don't have to have the Google service. I don't know, JSON file, anything about that. You just have you just need an @sign and onboard it, and you have your data. You can just start to use it. And another thing I haven't said is that the whole app is also in 3 languages. We have internationalized it. So for now, it's accessible in English, Espanol, I think, Spanish, and Swahili and Turkish.
Awesome.
So yeah, we haven't implemented yet the language. Oh man, this setting, it's always bad state. Okay. I haven't implemented yet the settings to change the language, but if you go to your phone setting and change the language, it will adapt automatically. But we need to improve that and put a setting to change the language dynamically within the app.
That is incredible work, Kelvin, and the rest of the team that worked on it. Really, really great job. Really impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kelvin.
Okay.
Great work. All right. We'll be doing 2 more demos, and then we'll take a 2 or 3 minute halftime break, just so that we can, get up, stretch, drink some water, go to the bathroom, etc., etc. But I digress. Up next, we have Sean, all the way from Singapore.
Hey, Tyler.
What time is it over there, Sean?
It's 12 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's get this demo going so that you can go to bed.
Yeah, for sure.
The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sean, and I'm a marketing intern from Singapore. So for the past 2 weeks, a few interns and I were focusing on reviving the YouTube scene for Atsign. So I'm going to show 2 projects within that area to show the progress. First, I would like to show, one moment. Okay. Yeah, firstly, I would like to show the YouTube short scripts. We are planning on having a YouTube short series where we explain a technical term, for example, end-to-end encryption, in such a way that anyone from the general public can understand and also make sense to the experts. So I wrote most of these scripts and now they just need to be verified and corrected before getting started on the video making process. Uh, and now onto the second part of the progress. Yeah. I have made a video on the price and cost of Atsign, and this video is meant to be a normal video, not a YouTube short. So the script for this was written by Jesse and Jeremy, and the voiceover is done by Liam. So this is our collaborative work. So enjoy and let us know your thoughts.
Welcome to Atsign.dev, where we go over special terminology you may need to know when cruising through our dev site, Atsign.dev. What is an Atsign? An Atsign is a handle, for example, @Alice, that functions as your digital identity. It uses end-to-end encryption to ensure that your data is 100% owned and controlled by you. An Atsign has 2 states, deactivated and activated. To activate an @sign, CRAM authenticate into your secondary server. After successful CRAM authentication, your @sign is activated where a PCAM key pair is generated by your device and the CRAM key will be invalid, so that only you own the keys to your secondary server. Each @sign has a unique key that is used to identify whether you are the @sign's rightful owner. After first activating an @sign, be sure to save its corresponding key in a secure location. You'll need it to sign back into the app or use other apps on the platform. Here's an example. Alice has created their own @sign called @Alice. Anyone who looks up @Alice can only view the information that they've made public through Wavy, an app that lets them set up and customize their public profile. They'll have the freedom to adjust it as needed, and those changes will be viewable in a matter of seconds. So what can you do with an @sign? At the moment, you can pair your @sign with any app on the app platform, the underlying technology behind the @signs, to enable the app to access but not store your data. The number of things you can do with your @sign will increase as more and more of these apps are built. While we wait for the rest of the internet to catch up, you can get ahead of the game by downloading the first batch of recently launched apps. These include Atmosphere Pro, an end-to-end encrypted file sharing app, @Buzz, an entirely new and private way to connect with others, and more. So what are the costs associated with an @sign? Since the platform is fully open sourced and everyone can contribute, there is no cost for developers. When you make an app on the platform, people that use your apps will not have to pay any fees for infrastructure or storage. The way that @sign generates revenue is by using our special identifier, which is known as an @sign. An @sign can come in many flavors with corresponding prices ranging from free, $10, $100, $1,000, all the way up to $5,000. If you opt in for the vanity @sign, the prices increase as the @sign of your liking decreases in length and complexity. For each paid @sign you own, there is a $10 annual renewal fee. This fee does not apply to the free @signs. What makes @signs so awesome is that if your app is the first one someone pairs with an @sign, after buying their @sign, we pay you commission on that. Yeah, you don't pay us, we pay you. For paid @signs, these are the options. For $10, a hybrid @sign is a sign that ends with an underscore and up to 4 numbers. For $100, a custom @sign is a sign that is any combination of words, numbers, or even emojis, at least 5 characters or 4 characters if it includes a number or emoji. For $1,000, a custom @sign that is only 3 or 4 characters with no numbers. And for $5,000, a custom @sign that is only 3 characters. For a free @sign, there exists an @sign generator, which creates a new set of @signs at random for you to choose from. You are given two options. The first option requires you to add some pre-generated atsigns, while the second option lets you generate an atsign based on your interests using super secret mode. Let's say you like music and sports. The atsign generator would perform its magic and dish out some options. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of Atsign.dev, where we discussed what an atsign is and how the pricing works. Be sure to head to atsign.dev to learn more about how Atsign implements the AT protocol with the AT platform. And if you haven't already, subscribe and join our Discord community to get quick help on your AT applications.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
That was awesome. Incredible work, Sean.
Thank
And
you.
Liam, of course. That was Liam on the voiceover. Is that right?
Yep.
Awesome. You guys have done such a good job with the YouTube videos and bringing our YouTube back to life. I know we had some radio silence for a very long time, but I'm happy you guys have brought it back. Well, I guess to keep the questions going is it would be, what was the most challenging part of this internship?
I guess getting the work done would be the most challenging part. But Atsign is so great. Like, you have so many people you can talk to who can help you with whatever you want, and you even have the freedom to do whatever you want. So it's been so great, and yeah.
I'm gonna have to second Hakeem's question there. How do you stay awake to work with us on the opposite side of the world?
I just sleep during the day.
Never see the daylight. Yeah, you're a real champion for that. It's always impressive asking you what time it is, and you're like, "Oh, it's only 3 a.m. You know, it's fine."
Yeah. Anyway, it's been great. So yeah.
Thank you so much. You can now go to bed.
Thank you.
I will allow you to get your 8 hours of sleep, hopefully.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sean. All right. And up next, we have Jem. Jem, are you there?
Hello.
Now,
Hello,
you're
Tyler.
away in Turkey. I don't know what you guys are up to, but I don't know why you're away.
Yeah, so I'm Jem, and I'm from Turkey.
And feel free to share your screen too, and I'll bring it up.
Okay. So for today, I'm going to show you about ATAP, which is application for creating sample Flutter app, but it's specific to the AT protocol. And when we create Flutter apps with ATAP, it's
You haven't shared your screen, Jem.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah. Then let's share screen. So for first, I want to show you which apps we can create with ATAP, which sample apps that protocol. So I'm going to start with this command, and I'm going to run ATAP, this is the path of ATAP, and let's go step by step. So I'm going to this package, and after this one, then this one. So this is ATAP.dart, and it's our main class. So we are going to run this code. For that, I'm going to just go to this path, like that, package, add app, and bin. After that, add app.dart. And after that, we are going to use create command, which is actually, I want to show you first which apps we can create with ATAP. So for this, I'm going to write this command, list of samples. Okay, so here's the list of sample apps specific to Ad protocol, and let's create one of the app. For example, we can create at onboarding Flutter. For that, I'm going to same command but without this extension. Instead of I'm going to write S, which is sample meaning, and name of the sample app at onboarding Flutter. After that, I'm going to write my path, and I create this path for demo, and I'm copying this path. Okay. Now I'm creating at onboarding Flutter. As you can see, it's creating. And then let's check it's working or not. Okay, I think it's created. So after that, when we want to run our app, we are going to path from our command line. Is this, which will be this command, and I'm going to paste this path. And before I was in this path, and now I am in the project path. Now I'm going to Flutter run. So this way, I'm going to run my app, which is at onboarding Flutter. It can be a little longer because building for the first time.
And while we're waiting for the Gradle to build, talk about what made you go through all of this and make all of these demo apps and whatnot.
For creating templates.
Yeah.
Do you mean?
Yeah.
Did you mean that?
Yeah.
So I was curious about what these old samples are doing, and when I creating samples for ATAP, I created, actually there's these projects already written, but when I add this to the ATAP, I have to check all of them one by one, and this way I learned more about these apps. So that's what's the motivation for me.
Nice. And what else have you done during the internship? I know it's been really tough for you since English isn't your first language.
Yeah. So in the internship, I was working on PrivateFit, which is Kelvin demo for us. And actually, what was challenging for me is 2 or 3 days ago, I'm trying to write my own algorithm for step counting, but it was really hard. Actually, I didn't make it all. So I can say that was the most challenging thing for me, because I tried a lot of things like using accelerometer or gyroscope, but if you want to write your own algorithm for step counting, you have to combine all of them. So eventually we went from Flutter package, which is speedometer, and yeah, before that, actually, we are trying to integrate Fitbit Google Fit API, but as Kelvin said, if we are going to use this API, we have to install Google Fit 2. So because of that, we choose that way. Okay, I think it's building now. Actually, it's not taking that long normally. I don't know why.
Yeah, Flutter really gives you the opportunity to really think about your life decisions, doesn't it?
Maybe Android Studio too.
Yeah, it really takes a while, but I mean, at least it gives you the opportunity to think about like, maybe I shouldn't like program this, or maybe this is where the bug is. Gives you plenty of time, or maybe you can get up and go drink some water while it's thinking about maybe building.
Yeah. Some stretching.
Yeah, exactly. Some stretching. All right, there you go.
Okay, so we can try our app. Yeah, I think so. It's just onboarding Atsign app. It's sample app, so it does not have a lot of feature. Let's try onboard. Okay. Actually, before that, I onboard my Atsign, so it's going. Yeah, that's my Atsign. It's going directly. So yeah, its app is working, and I can show you also how to create. For example, when we type this, we can see the samples app. If you want to add another app to this list, if we create our own app, and add to this list to the add app, I can show you this one too, but I don't know is there enough time. It can be long too again. So what do you think, Tyler?
It's okay. You can share it next week as well. Right at the beginning, you already have it built and stuff, and then we'll kick it from there.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Yeah, it's fine for me.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jem. Are there any questions for you? Let's see. Any questions for Jem in the chat? It was very nice having you, Jem. I'll say that.
Okay,
we only have
thank
1
you.
week left together.
See you.
All right. See you, Jem. All right. And as I promised you, it is time for a break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. So get up, stretch, get some water, drink the rest of your coffee. Maybe go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do within the next 2 minutes. And we'll be right back. This is just some tunes. I love this. We gotta like start just like live streaming this, but just the music, and then me just be like, and welcome back to your Friday Atsign jams. All right, I'm just kidding. Don't let me go off the rails here, guys. Come on. All right, that is enough of a break. I'm just excited to see some more demos. And up next we have John. How you doing, John? Are you there?
I'm doing well. I am here.
All right. The floor is yours.
Are you able to see my screen at this point? Okay, perfect.
I can see myself a bajillion times, sir.
All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and get started then. So essentially for me, so a brief introduction. So my name is John Price. I am currently based out of Kansas City, Kansas right now. So I don't have as cool of a location as a lot of other people. And I would say that I don't necessarily fit into either category. I'm not really great with all the techie stuff. So I can't code like some of my peers who have shown some amazing apps and other things that they're developing right now. That's not really in my skill set. I can sort of do a little bit of marketing, but sort of when I came into the internship, I wanted to do something a little different. And so this first project, this will be sort of part one of two. Part two will be next week. I want to talk a little bit about one thing that I worked on for most of June. I'd say it was probably my biggest project in June. And that was what I like to call VC prospecting. VC stands for venture capital. As some people may know, Atsign is currently in the process of going out to raise more money through venture capital through a Series A round. And so I did some research surrounding that, but I'll get into sort of the nitty gritty now. I'm sort of OCD, and so I put together a little agenda. This isn't a very long presentation, but just sort of to keep things together, I'll walk through sort of a light plan. So what I want to start off with is sort of how I came up with this idea, because it is a little bit different than just developing an app, and definitely require talking to some people. So I want to sort of mention that. I'll then go into sort of how I structured my analysis and some of the sheets that I put together. And then lastly, I'll just sort of walk you through the real thing and show some of the pages. And you can, use that as a chance to read some of the things that I wrote and look at some of the information that I have. So with that being said, I'll hop into the first part, which is sort of how I came up with this idea. And I want this presentation, as much as I'm presenting about the things that I've done, I also sort of want it to be a bit of a reflection of some of the things that I've taken away from Atsign, the company as a whole, and also just sort of what I've learned about working with other people. But one of the biggest things, and you'll see at the bottom. So when I started off, I think it was the second week. You can sort of see the timestamp up top, June 13th. But I reached out to Tyler just wondering, this was the day after the founders sort of presented their pitch for, what they're presenting to the Series A investors. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. That's something I want to get involved with, but I don't really know how to. So I reached out to Tyler, who is the absolute man, kind of in charge of all of us interns and the go-to person, and was like, hey, would it be okay for me to reach out to Barbara, who is the CEO? A little bit intimidating being a second week intern. And he was like, go for it. And then I ended up reaching out to Barbara, and she was like, yeah, I would love the help. We sat down in a meeting, and she was like, hey, here's some things that you can do. I'd love if you would go together. And again, I'll get into more of what I actually was doing in the next slide. But she was like, go for it. So you can see my key takeaway on the bottom. Never be afraid to reach out to anyone at Atsign, even if it's the CEO, which I think is just sort of a fun takeaway, and maybe would sort of be my biggest message that I would relay on to future interns coming into the program. With that, I'll go into what I actually did. So I was working a two-part system. One was based out of Google Sheets and one was based out of Google Docs. You can sort of see some of the advantages that I listed of each on the bottom. But essentially what I was doing is Barbara provided me a list through, she had a very well-organized Google Sheet that I used to essentially go through and build my own Google Sheet, where I gathered a little bit more information on each of these investors. So each person that you see over here is a venture capital investor. And so I put down sort of like the firm that they were in, and then their sweet spot as far as investment range. Obviously, M stands for million. So that was sort of step one. And then step two, as you can see over in the Google Doc, was actually putting together a little profile on each of these people. And I did a little bit of highlighting and some color coding. I tried to find videos of those people talking, especially if, so the sort of the goal for this was for Barbara and the others to have a sort of a guideline for investors so that they know sort of what they're getting into when they go to pitch these people, when they go to reach out. And so I was sort of hoping that if I provided videos that they could sort of see how these people talk, the energy that they bring, and learn a little bit more about them. But so that's sort of my system as a whole. What I really want to get into is just showing you the documents. So that is what I'm going to do now. So I will click on this. So this is taking me to our, or sort of my general page. You can see I actually have the reference table. So this is directly from the spreadsheet, the Google Sheet portion that I was talking about. And I believe that it is fully updated right now. One of the big reasons why I was a fan of using both rather than just only using Google Docs or Google Sheets is because I sort of had the opportunity to rank people based on sort of the quality of the lead. And so as you can see at the top of this sheet here are what I would consider maybe our highest priority leads, or at least sort of based off of my assessment as an intern. Now, reckon I think that's ultimately up to the founders to decide who would be the highest quality lead. But I sort of tried to put in my 2 cents in that way. So I have that up here at the top. Again, always a nice reference, and then the link to the other sheet here. And then sort of the big thing that I did, and you can see over here in my outline, was go through, I believe I have 24 or 25 investors on here. And so I just went through each individual person. You can click on each person, and if you want to know more about them, you can see. So some general things that I would include are sort of some of their investments that they've made. So, you can kind of see, all right, what are these people interested in? Where are they putting their money? I tried to include little facts, like, for example, for Jason, he's a UC Berkeley alum. And from a lot of what I found, he loves the school. I think he's very involved. He goes back there. So, that could be something to mention. We're out of the Bay, sort of a little bit of a different area than Berkeley, but, just something interesting, a connecting point to give, the founders just a little bit more information when they go into that pitch. Other information includes things like LinkedIn's. Again, I like to, I believe, so this is a video of Jason talking in some kind of an interview, but any kind of, like I said, interview that I could find, them talking about their investments, or even them giving advice to other people looking to go into venture capital, because it's interesting to see, to them, what makes up that stellar pitch, that they're going to buy into and eventually put their money toward, which is the ultimate goal. Every startup needs money in order to achieve its goals and keep things like this going. So that is pretty much all that I have for now. But yeah, that's sort of my part one. Part two coming next week on another project that I was working on for most of July. But that's sort of my VC prospecting, I guess, presentation.
Awesome work, John. That is incredible. And you showed my cringe DMs. So I was like, no.
I had to do it to you.
And Kevin's watching this. Kevin's one of the co-founders, and he is an absolute wizard of spreadsheets. So I'm sure he absolutely loves your work as well. And you spread it out so it's just so organized, and the numbers are just so good.
Like I said, if you couldn't tell from me having an agenda on a 5-slide presentation, I am super OCD about doing them organized like that. So
that is awesome. And just like I've asked all the other interns, what's been the most challenging part of the internship for you?
Man, this is a good question. I've had connectivity issues here and there. So as I know many of the interns and probably a lot of other people at Atsign know, when I started off, I was actually based in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So now like I said, my location is a little more boring. But I was in South America, and my connection at times was a little bit spotty. I was also trying to figure out some visa stuff so that I could get home. So I would say initially that first week or two, not only was I figuring everything out, but I was also sort of trying to manage that. So I would say that was one of my biggest blockers early on. Honestly, since then, everything's been pretty smooth sailing. So I would say probably just navigating that. But thankfully, everyone, Tyler, you were amazing. All of the co-founders were awesome. And once I was able to successfully get out of there, I hopped right into this project. So I would say maybe getting started a little bit just because of my situation. But yeah.
Awesome work. And will you be demoing something for us next week?
I will be. It's something a little bit different. Honestly, I say it's a little bit different. The format is very similar, but the purpose is a lot different. So I'm excited to share that. We'll be, looking through another Google Doc together, which I know everyone loves, but yes. So I'm excited to share that next Friday.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John, and great work. Let's see what you do with your last week.
I'm excited.
All right. Thank you. All right. And please forgive me. They are doing construction, what seems like almost directly outside of my door. I apologize if you can hear it, but it's a good thing I'm not talking that much. Over to Zara. Are you there? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry.
There you go. How you doing, Zara?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Yeah, so I guess my intro. My name's Zara. I just finished up my 4th year at TMU in Toronto. I was a marketing intern, but I'd say more of like a graphic design intern. And today I'm going to be demoing kind of the highlights of what I did in like the first month of the internship. So I will share my screen.
Are you able to share your screen, Zara?
Yes.
It's okay. I will fill the void while you're doing that.
Okay.
Oh, she's left. She's left. Yeah, StreamYard kind of does this sometimes where it's like, I don't really want you to share screen. That's okay. I'll just kick you out instead. That's fine. But she will be back in just 1 second. Do we have the technical difficulty overlay? I think I deleted it before this. Dang, we should have made a new one. This would have been a perfect time for that, but that's okay. I'll just talk instead. I'm very excited that we're doing this again. Zara's back. There we go. Zara, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I know StreamYard doesn't really like sharing screens sometimes. And there's her screen. There you go.
Okay, great.
Take it away.
Yes, so what I'm going to be sharing today are 2 projects that I worked on, which were the t-shirt campaign and social media assets. So for the first project, the summary is I wanted to make a t-shirt collection that was eye-catching, because I think that's very important, especially in marketing, and was consistent to any existing brand guidelines that I could pick up on, which are currently being developed now. So that's pretty exciting. And I wanted it to be creative. I know a lot of t-shirts are kind of just the logo slapped on, which can be cool and simple, but the best way to be, again, eye-catching is to have something a little different, something that shows a bit more creativity and expression. So yeah, I wanted it to stand out a bit from other t-shirts you see in like hackathons or just merchandise pages on tech company websites. So here are the first 2 t-shirts that I designed. So a lot of these are very geared towards hackathons. So we've got sort of the graphics going on and keeping it very simple to Atsign colors, nothing too expensive because, you know, if you're making a lot of t-shirts, it can be costly to produce them, but making it exciting and interesting whilst also limiting the amount of colors and graphics going on. So just one placement on the front of the t-shirt, the Atsign logo, of course, and the Atsign colors and text or phrases that focus on the subject at hand. So the hackathon that might be going on, or just Atsign merch that you can get any time of the year. The second one, again, more hackathon themed, develop and demonstrate, kind of what you do in the typical hackathon. Yeah, so I did want to try to keep to that theme whilst also having some sort of warp text and exciting things going on. Here are the next two. So we do have a bit of green going on. Again, this can always be changed, but something interesting to sort of get the attention of anyone who might want to buy it or get involved in the event that would result in them receiving one of these t-shirts. The placement of the @sign logo is always important. And the second one, probably my favorite, some cool text effects and our favorite slogan of flip the internet. This could probably be sold anytime and wouldn't have to be like a collaboration with another company. It could just exist as @sign merch. And the last one, this one says innovate with a bunch of cool sort of gradient geometric shapes and the @sign logo. I also like this one a lot, and I feel like people who are into this kind of t-shirt would be able to sort of express themselves while also representing the company or whatever event they were involved in where they received this shirt. So in the end, my goal with this project was to attract people from outside our existing target audience. So expanding the @sign community, you know, going beyond the people who already know what @sign is, and maybe getting people to say, oh, like, I have no idea what this company is, but they have really cool t-shirts. Maybe I want to find out more. Maybe I want to get an @sign or download some of the apps on the App Store. And to foster a unique brand identity that sort of says, oh, well, this company's a little different because we do strive to be different. Their t-shirts are always sort of, you know, a wild card. They're not usually what you're expecting. And in a nutshell, to show real effort and artistic expression while directing people towards @sign and its associated products. So that is sort of the perfect sentence to define the purpose of this t-shirt campaign. So moving on to the next project, I worked on some graphics for the Discord. So we wanted to do an animated server banner and icon. So at the top, you can see I kind of animated the @sign logo to sort of draw as if you were drawing it yourself, which I think is cool because I know it was designed by a portraiture artist, so it was actually drawn. And on the bottom right, you can see the animated server banner, as well as on the left, just the static @sign community. These are really important for like kind of making sure that there's like a clear brand identity for @sign and really pushing that @sign orange and keeping everything pretty simple, especially while we're still developing what we want people to see when it comes to like graphics. So keeping it simple while other stuff may be in the works. And then next, I did a couple banners for some Google Forms. So one for IoT West Africa and another one for Flutter Gems. So I could have gone with just the orange, but I did want to spice it up because it was a collaboration with other organizations that have different color schemes. So the challenge was like, how can I blend @sign's typical appearance with another company whilst not having too much going on? So, you know, the cool gradient with like custom colors placed in different areas, as well as like the sort of gift card look for the one at the top. So my goal for that last project was to develop the cohesive brand image. So, you know, as more materials go out, so more social media campaigns and more Google Forms and organizations and events, you start to see more stuff coming from Atsign. And, you know, our brain loves patterns, and it develops a familiarity for Atsign. And, you know, it would make someone see maybe our orange with not even any text, maybe just our logo, and say, oh, that must be Atsign, kind of like the McDonald's golden arches. You know, you don't have to see the word McDonald's to know that it's McDonald's. But yeah, I just really wanted to create that feeling of like, oh, I know that's Atsign without being told that it is Atsign. So yeah, that is it for me for this demo day. If you tune in next week, I will have some more stuff. But yeah, the end of my presentation.
That is some really great work, Zara. It's always so impressive to see your designs because you, as some people may not know, were also part of the 2020 intern groups, which I was also an intern of. So it's nice to have you back on board. So great to see your designs are still rocking.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been so nice to have you again. Yes. We'll probably have that like Discord banner up for like years to come.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get enough was it like Nitro to get like an animated banner, because that'd be pretty cool.
And you know what? Now, because of you, we will have that animated banner.
Sweet.
Yeah, when do you have any idea if we're gonna get those shirts?
I don't. I know there's already like a printer set up that Atsign has worked with before, but I mean, getting in contact with them or sending my designs on to whoever, they are ready as soon as they would want to get them printed. I feel like a good idea for a new project would be like a merch page for that, like Atsign website. Yeah.
Atsign merch store. You will be contact number 1 for designs.
Great.
Great job, Zara.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? A lot of compliments for your designs.
Thank you to everyone.
You did really good. All right. Thank you so much, Zara. And can't wait to see your demo next Friday.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Up next, we have Daria. What is up, Daria?
Can you hear me? Is everything good? Okay, cool. Hi. So yeah, like Tyler said, my name is Daria. It's my second year. Oh, ooh, that looks crazy. Okay, wait, let me hide that. Yeah, it's my second time around here at that company. I was here last summer and I was doing more, I wouldn't say dev stuff, still kind of UI UX, but this year I can't say that I'm part of a specific team. I'm kind of just hip and hopping around different projects and different teams, and I've had a lot of fun doing that. But today I'm going to present like the main thing that I've been working on, which is kind of the interface of Atmosphere Pro, an app that we already have. Atsign, I just wanted to make it, it's already pretty looking and it's very functional. I just wanted to kind of put my own spin on it and kind of play around and see what I could do. And I made both the desktop version and the mobile, and that's taking up a good chunk of my time here. A little bit on me, which I think I missed at the beginning. I'm going into my 4th year in double degree. I do math at Waterloo and business at the University of Laurier. And yeah, I'll get into it. So for those who might not be as familiar as I am with Atmosphere Pro, because I've been working on it, this is kind of what it looks like right now. This is the home screen, what you see when you kind of log in. It's basically a file transfer app where you can send files to specific people that you have in your, so yeah, you can send files to specific people that you have in your contacts. And then there's a bunch of stuff that have to do with it, like contacts, your transfer history, your block signs, your files. You'll basically be seeing their functionality in my demo anyways. So yeah, without further ado, I'll get into what the redesign kind of looks like on my end. Okay, yeah, so this is obviously the desktop and this is the mobile. This is obviously you didn't get the chance to see what it originally looked like, the onboarding screen, but what has changed kind of, I kind of blew out the login process both on the mobile and then the desktop. So if you, just a little like heads up, this guy's kind of a video, so I don't have to interact with both of them at the same time. But yeah, I'll mainly be touching on the desktop. So if you have a QR code, obviously you can go in and upload your @sign QR code, or you can generate an account for free. You can, if you're not happy with the free @sign, you can obviously refresh it or just go ahead and create. And then you go in and you enter an @sign. If it's good, it'll say good. If it doesn't exist, then it says not exist. But in this case, we're obviously gonna put in a good one so we can go into the next screen. So once you create your account, you're logging in, you're not really creating, but you're creating the Atmosphere account. So once you're in, you have like the main screen, which is where you'll be able to select files and send them. So if we want to send a file, this is kind of what it would look like. The little gradient over here, if you guys can see, it just means that it's loading. The no gradient means it's already loaded, ready to go. You can add more if you wish. And then you can select who exactly it is you want to send it to. So just like that, we're going to choose to send it to Miss Sarah Paul, Airplanes 45. And yeah, and then as soon as it's sent, you get a success if it obviously goes through properly and it says that successfully sent the files. You can see the history between you and Airplane 35, to kind of see what's been going on if you need to track it. Not tracking in the data sense, obviously tracking in the correspondence sense. And in case you made a quick mistake and, oh, you forgot to send a file, or maybe you sent an extra one and you just realized, you can really, really quickly unsend it. This isn't a current feature, but it was just something that I ideated. Yeah, so you could do that. Or if something goes wrong, I'll tell you, hey, something went wrong, please try again later. Moving on to the contacts functionality. So in contacts, obviously the desktop one, since we have a little bit more real estate to work with, it's a little bit more in-depth and comprehensive than you're going to get on the mobile, but overall same functionality. So on the contacts over on desktop, if you click on the user card, you'll see like a quick resume. You can send a file right away, or you see exactly the correspondence between you and Sarah Paul in this case. So you see exactly when something was sent, when it was received, what type of correspondence it was, the file name, the size, and the date. And you can quickly delete her, you can block her, or you can add her to trusted, which is basically like your BFF's favorites. And yeah, we'll go through the creating a new contact workflow. So you just go in, enter an @sign. If it's not good, you'll see no good. If it's good, it's good. They're added to your database of contacts. Moving on to transfer history. Okay, good. I was just waiting for this guy to catch up with me. So in transfer history, you see exactly like a bigger version of your entire transfer history with all the @signs, and you see the type of delivery, the date, the size, and the file name. You can obviously search or refresh if you feel like maybe like something should be appearing and it isn't. You can just be sure that refreshing will kind of update everything. You can also filter by delivery type. So in this case, we can filter out by sent to just see everything that you've obviously sent out. And you have the option to kind of resend it. Say, for example, I don't know, you sent your mom the grocery list and for some reason she can't find it on her phone anymore. You can resend it, or you can download to see exactly what that grocery list even pertained to. Maybe you forgot something and you just want to double check. Then moving back onto, so on the app, one thing that I just wanted to quickly note, I kind of reorganized how the desktop looks like, and that's just because I kind of wanted it to make sense and just be minimized. I didn't want to have 1,000,010 like little icons at the bottom, so I just kept it simple, and everything that has to do with contacts I put under the contact screen, which is like the block signs, the trusted senders, which is that favorite component that I talked about earlier, and then the groups. Whereas on the desktop, they're all kind of separated into their own little buckets. And that's because, I mean, we have the real estate to kind of do it, but I thought that it just kind of made sense to group them this way on the mobile. So sorry, bear with me if it's a little bit complicated on the mobile and I keep going back and forth between screens, but that's why. Yeah, so moving on to block signs. Block signs, it's in the name, people that you do not want on your screen, or maybe you're just not friends with them anymore, who knows. So you can unblock users very easily and then bang, or you just have a giant list of people that you've blocked. moving on to files. So in files, you see every file that's pertained on your like device. On the desktop, you can see both the list view or a little like icon view. Obviously, icon view would be teeny tiny if we did it on mobile. So I just left it as a list because that's already pretty small. And you can also filter by file type. So say you want to see only the docs, you can do that. And yeah, that's kind of it for files. Now moving on to groups. This is a super cool functionality that I like. Basically, you can just gather up a bunch of your friends and have groups for various purposes. So in this case, there's obviously no groups, but if we go and create one, we can go ahead and pick exactly who we want. So let's say we want Sarah and Hannah. We create our group. We can even insert a marketing. So say it's the marketing team, we can put a name and then an image. We have created the marketing team. And then on desktop, you actually have the same functionality where you're able to see exactly what the interaction was between everyone or quickly send a file. Or even you can go ahead and edit who's part of it. So say you were accidentally inserted in a group and you have no idea what it's about, you can kind of just take yourself out of it. Let's leave it in for now so I can show you that you can also add people in your groups. So say maybe, the marketing team is always changing, people come, people go. So you can go ahead and add people to the marketing or even delete people. And yeah. Then lastly, we have trusted senders. So you'll see this guy's gonna close, and then we go back to contacts, trusted senders. That's just the people that you trust, your BFFs, your favorites, whatever you want to call it, same thing. If you click on them, it just assumes that you want to remove them because that's kind of the only interaction that there is. And then you're just left with terms and FAQ. But on the mobile, I kind of compiled all the admin stuff into settings, which honestly a lot of apps do. And the settings is just a comprehensive list of other buttons like switching @signs or deleting @signs. You can even back up your keys, quickly see terms and conditions, FAQ, or just simply contact @sign if you have any questions about the app. And I think that's the bulk of everything. I think I may have missed like one or two things for sure, but I think that's a pretty comprehensive show of what the redesign looks like. Yeah.
Awesome. That is some really great work, Dara. And I know that you spent a lot of time on it. So quick question is, what was the most challenging part for that redesign, do you think?
Honestly, at first, I think I was very stuck on trying to just like remake it. And I spent a lot of time kind of like, because I started with the desktop. So I was trying to figure out like, oh, how can I rearrange the menu? How can I like remake the workflow? But I mean, at the end of the day, there was nothing wrong with the workflow. And I'm assuming that users are already familiar with it. So instead of redesigning an experience, maybe just I started focusing more on enhancing the existing features and the actual experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are there any questions in the chat for Daria? Now, do you have any idea if and when this redesign will be implemented? Have you spoken to the engineers?
Nope, I have not. But I mean, I think it's pretty heavy in terms of assets, and it's very simple to do it on Figma, but from firsthand experience, I know when it comes to actually developing, it's a whole other story. So I wouldn't expect it to be too soon, but I would hope that it wouldn't be years into the future.
Yeah, we should definitely get that going. You should reach out to them. And
definitely.
They may be like, what? How do you expect us to do all this? But yeah, you did a really great job. It's really thorough, I think.
There's definitely like when it comes to actually the developing, there's some edge cases that I maybe missed, but I think those will just kind of fluctuate as it goes on.
Kevin says that they are already on it, so that is some good news.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Daria. Will you be presenting next Friday?
I mean, there's a couple of other stuff that I worked on. Like I said, I've been kind of hip-hopping everywhere, but they're not going to be as fun as this. So if there's time, sure. If not, then I think you guys got the big chunk and the most interesting part.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Daria. You've been a thrill to have. Again, this is your second year, so you're definitely a pro at working here. So thank you so much.
It's been fun. Thank you.
All right. Now for the next demo, it will be from David. However, the internet service providers in Africa are a little bit not as nice as the ones that we are used to. So I will be presenting his demo. He has recorded it because we knew that some unfortunate events may occur. So I will, let's see if I can find my screen for it, which has disappeared. Ah, there it is. And let me just now find StreamYard and share my screen. And share my entire screen. Okay. And then if I, okay, there it is. All right, and actually let me get rid of my face because David's face is on there. You guys don't want to see me anyway, it's okay. Hold on, you guys said you can't hear me? Can't hear it? Okay, hold on. Let's try. Let's unplug this and then, okay, let's, oh, now I lost the screen. David, there we go. All right, how about now?
Present day to all ladies and gentlemen. My name is David T. Zerema, and during my internship, I've been working on 2 applications that I'm proudly to be developing them. Okay, fine. So today I'm going to present to you MedAccess. MedAccess is a mobile application that is powered by Atsign protocol, which allows patients, doctors, and pharmacists to actually share medical records in a secure manner. Okay, so basically we understand that the current situation in medical field is a lot of medical records, they are stored in silos, and patients currently don't have like the they don't own their medical records, right? So using MedAccess, we are flipping how medical records are shared across all the entities within the health organizations. Okay, fine. So I'm going to do a quick demo, like from my previous presentation where I showed you the designs. So last week I was working on turning those designs into actual code, and I've managed to turn a couple of them, and here's a presentation. Okay, fine. When I try to talk to people about a sign protocol, sometimes I realize that the community doesn't actually understand what you are trying to achieve as a company. So I have incorporated like a learning environment. Just incorporated three things where I'm going to explain what and why should they consider to secure their medical records and the data that is being generated by their wearables. Okay. So if I come here, learn about the sign. So here, click here. This is like scrolling where you'll be learning about what you're trying to achieve as an organization, what you want to do, all those kind of things. So this is the first step, and then the second step, I'm going to be showing you like the doctor side of the things. So first of all, if you click start here, so as you can see, this screen is going to have like the list of all the patients that will be in the system, or those patients that subscribe to you, or that you have treated maybe in the past, right? And then if you come here and please and click this add button, you're going to be greeted by this page, which allows to add like maybe complaints about the patient. So if you click there, you can just type here. For example, in this case, I'm just going to say swollen legs, right? And then you can feel like here. edit, you can just delete it. And then diagnosis, the same applies. You can add there. And as well medicine, all those kind of things. Once you're done, then you can actually say prescribe to a particular patient. As you can see, the swollen leg that we did there, that's where it is. All those kind of things, the data that we captured in that form. And then after that, from this side, you can maybe just comment here. And then this side, I'm also planning to add like appointments with your patients, right? Everything will be encrypted using Atsign protocol. And then next, I'm going to log in as the patient now. Let me just fine, there we go. Log in as a patient in this case. So as you can see, if you're a patient now, you're greeted with this nice dashboard, which actually shows you like all your medical prescription that you have been given. For example, you can actually see that I am PrivateFit Sprint. That's my Atsign. I can actually see that I have been assigned 5 new prescriptions, and probably I skipped to collect 2 medical prescriptions, right? And then the same applies for the appointments. It's going to be the same. Probably there's going to be missed assignment, appointments completed, pending, approved, all those kind of things about appointments. And then the next thing, there's one thing that I like about Mate Access. Mate Access actually allows you to synchronize all the wearables that we have, or any device that you'll be working with, or probably a glucose checking device. You can actually pair it with your Atsign, right? As you can see here, you can actually add another device that will be configured to your name. So you can see, you can just put the name with one device or whatever, and then you click what? Synchronize the device. And all the data that is being generated by that device, we call it Internet of Medical Things, right? It's going to be owned by you, and you will be able to actually decide who can access my medical records, right? So, and then after that, there's one screen that I just want you to see that I haven't implemented in the application, but I have made the design. So I just thought maybe I can just show you. It's currently in Figma. So this is the reporting part, right? As you can see, you can generate your medical history reports based on quite a number of things. You can actually search based on duration. You can search based on search terms. You can search based on category. To give you just a basic example of search terms, you can actually search based on a particular doctor. For example, you want to say, all right, fine, the prescription that I was prescribed by Dr. ABC, and category, I just want to search the history of my probably temperature, which is generated by this sort of own wearable. So yeah, basically that's Mate Access in a nutshell. And there's kind of idea that I'm been working on. So probably next week I'm planning to also add like the working with real data. As you can see, these are just screens which have probably dummy data. But next time, probably next week, I want to implement like the real data, as we will be able to actually prescribe a particular patient, a particular prescription to a particular patient, and you can actually see the ins and out of Mate Access. With this, I thank you very much for your time.
Oh, wow. That was actually so good. I have not watched the video yet, and I'm very happy that I kept that as a surprise for myself. That is so good. Oh, David is such a good developer. And just to put it into perspective of how good of a developer David is, that is not the only app he's developed. this summer. He's also done another app that he'll be demoing next week, where you're actually able to manage and organize your time at work. So you're able to organize like what type of task you've done for the day, how long you worked on it, et cetera, et cetera. And David is just so good. I wish he was here to answer questions, but his internet is not allowing him to do so. I'm very sad about that. But I'm very happy that he was able to record the video and I was able to share. So up next, we have Liam, Jeremy, and Jesse. All three of them, a whole group. And
Hello.
you guys can tell me and the crowd what you have been up to.
All right, let me just share a screen. There we go. Okay, well, hello everyone. Welcome to our first demo day, part 1 of a double feature. My name is Jesse. I was raised in Ecuador and I moved to Canada here on September of 2011. And I'm currently on my 4th year of computer science and engineering degree at the University of Saskatchewan. I will pass it over to my colleague Liam.
Thank you. I just finished my first year at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I'm studying computer engineering, and I've been born and raised in the Bay Area. And I will pass it on to Jeremy.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. My name is Jeremy. I'm Filipino. I was born in Canada, and right now I'm going to be going into my 2nd year of software engineering at Ontario Tech University. Hopefully this collage of pictures gives you a sense of what kind of person I am. Over on the left, I'm a high school robotics mentor. And you can see from the cart, I love Doritos, and I'm also a competitive speed cuber. And that's it for me. So
All right.
next.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so for the first part of this presentation, we're all gonna delve into how we help with the creation of Atsign.dev 3.0, which is the next step towards the Atsign.dev website. Okay, so the summary of this is that we started off by doing a lot of research into some of the definitions that people didn't quite know what they meant per se. So we researched a couple of different words and we tried defining them first before we implemented them on the website. And then what I did was once we started rebranding into IoT, I kind of did a bit of IoT research during my internship. So I gathered a lot of information and came up with a landing page for that kind of explains specific IoT industries out here in the modern world. And then I coded up some HTML and Hugo shortcodes with the help of Xavier to get that implemented and kind of bring that page to life. And then Liam worked on the IoT tools section of the page. And then Jeremy implemented a really cool Hugo feature in HTML, which fetches dynamic blocks using JavaScript, as well as he did a lot of the Java SDK documentation. Like he was pretty fresh off with the Java SDK, but he implemented a lot of different tools that we'll be talking about. Okay, so let me start off by just putting out all the definitions that we have made on the IoT website. So they include but are not limited to @sign, pricing and costs, encryption, privacy, polymorphism, public and private keys, self-encryption key, CRAM, PCAM, namespace, synchronization, and notification. And we're kind of still adding content for these definitions up to the end of our internship. So let me show you very quickly what it looks like on the page here. So as you can see, there's a reference section, and we can go to @sign if we don't know what an @sign is. And then it kind of explains it here. There's also pricing and costs of @signs, and this is what it looks like. There's also dark mode if you are like me and like dark mode more than light mode. There's encryption. definitions, privacy, polymorphism, public and private keys. This one's a pretty long one. Self-encryption key, CRAM, PCAM, namespace, synchronization, and lastly, notification. Okay, so that's what it looks like currently on the staging side. All right. So next, I will be going into how I conducted some of the IoT research. So I started off by gathering information from Barbara and kind of took the research that she did, and then I brainstormed some possible approach methods for each industry that would help us acquire new leads. I also moved on and gathered a list of possible events that relate to IoT and that would help us acquire leads. So I made a spreadsheet of that. I came up with about 15 to 20 really big conferences where Atsign could participate. And I kind of helped brainstorm and develop new projects that would attract attention to our IoT goals, which include but are not limited to Rachel's podcast, which is really awesome, and we'll delve into some IoT stuff. Kind of a spoiler, my bad. But yeah, that's just one of the projects that are being developed. All right. All right. So then I moved on and I took that research and I kind of wireframed a website using Figma. Just kind of did a layout of how I wanted it to kind of look like. So this is what the wireframe looks like. Has a lot of panels. Just wanted to make sure it looks kind of clean. And yeah, for the future, I wanted to use Jeremy's shortcode for blog dynamic fetching and just kind of add all the different blocks here. So I will show what that looks like on the website. So this is how it looks like on dark mode. So there's like 4 main industries here. There's the Internet of Medical Things, as well as a brief description of it. There's the retail IoT industry, as well as the energy IoT industry, and then the manufacturing industry. And this is just a placeholder for the dynamic block fetching stuff that I wanted to add. And yeah, it's kind of what it looks like on dark mode. Kind of like the look of light mode right now more than the dark mode. All right. Okay, so I will pass it over to Liam to kind of finish off on how we help the IoT industries page.
Thank you, Jesse. Let me see if I can share my screen now. Here we go. Can you guys see that? There we go. So here is the tools page of the new IoT site. Thank you to Jesse for creating that panel feature that I use here. So some of you may recognize some of the demos that have already been done, such as the SSH no ports. This is kind of our features here. So we've got the SSH no ports with a link to the article about it. And then most of these other tools have links to the current GitHub repos for those. So you can check out how they work and use them in your own code. And then, yeah, using Jesse's panel feature here to kind of showcase the rest of them. So yeah, and that's the tools page currently. And unlike Jesse, I actually prefer the dark mode. But yeah, so I will now pass it on to Jeremy. I think you're muted, Jeremy.
You might be still muted.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. So yeah, just like Jesse mentioned, I worked on some dynamic blog fetching stuff. So just an example, here's the shortcodes that I wrote for the dev site, which will dynamically display things like the title, the author, the date, and the description. If you don't know what a shortcode is, if you've ever done something in React, you might know what a component is. Shortcode is pretty much that. It's just like a reusable, renderable code kind of thing. So yeah, I made this in HTML and CSS. And now I'll demo the dynamic portion of block fetching. So just let me node some code in here. You'll see that we fetched 10 Medium articles and 10 Hashnode articles that were written by Atsign. And it just made some JSON. Like here we got the title, author, and other data that we'll use to ultimately render these. So yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to show. Second thing is Java meets the app platform. Next week, you'll see a lot more of the Java stuff that I've implemented in the @Java repo. But for now, I'd like to show the documentation I've been writing for Java portion of the dev site. So just let me go to that branch, discard these changes, and then I'll npm start. Let that load for a second. There we go. And if you go over here to the SDK reference part of the dev site and go to Java reference, here we get a bunch of instructions on how to get the Java stuff working on your system. Then we have an introduction, just like some background information on like what a secondary server is and all that. It's pretty empty right now, but surely we'll find more things to add there. But if we get over to the getting started portion, this is where everything really is. Like we have instructions on how to create an @client instance, getting a secondary address, some key theory of like the different types of keys in Java, because it's not exactly the same as our Dart library. And we all love sample code. So sending data, encrypting data, and all that is all here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Java SDK documentation. Next, I want to present some stuff that's not Atsign dev related. So I made this this Dart file called @cramsingle. It's just one file, about like 50 lines of code. Basically, it takes your challenge and then Cram digests it so you can use it in your Cram authentication process. So I think it's better if I just demo this. So first, we're going to get a new @sign. I really like this one, banana 86 clean. We'll check out, and let me get my one-time password. Here we go, and hooray, we got an @sign. Let's activate this and get our Cram secret. So we have, for the Cram tool, we need two things. The first thing is the challenge, and then the Cram secret, because you use the Cram secret to encrypt the challenge. And if you're able to encrypt it, then you've proven that, well, you own the @sign. So once we've activated it, we get a QR code, and I'm going to put it in this online tool where it reads the QR code and gets the Cram secret for us. So now we have that. Let's go find our address of our new @sign. We're going to open SSL. If I remember how to do this correctly. There we go. And then we put in the @sign to get the address. Now that we have the address, let's do the exact same thing, but instead of to the root URL, let's go to the secondary address. Now we type in from and then the @sign, and it's going to give us the string that we need to encrypt. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and use it in our Cram tool. So I compiled the Dart file, and I'm just going to run that file here. So here are the instructions. We're going to use -C to put in the challenge. And it's doing, my bash has been weird lately, where when I paste it, runs it. So first I'm going to write everything in Notepad and then paste it all in one go. So -C is the challenge, and then you type -K, which is Cram secret. Wait, did I get that right? Yeah, I did. Okay. And let's copy all of this, paste this into the client. And here we get the digest. Now we'll use this here with the cram verb. And then we pass in the digest, enter, we get a data success. So yeah, if we type in scan, you'll see that, you'll see that we have successfully authenticated into our secondary. We can even do things like update a key. So if I remember how to do this correctly, I'll create a key named tests. Then I'll put some data in, like pizza. And if I did that correctly, okay, we got a data too. So if we can do scan again, you'll see our key is here. Test at banana 86 clean. And then we can look at the data inside of this key with lookup, and we get pizza. So yeah, that was the cram tool that I made, which just helps with authenticating. And lastly, some honorable mentions of the stuff I've done over the internship. I was part of the community outreach team, hosting like fun Discord stuff. I've also been part of the developer traction team, just giving my 2 cents in everything they do. Shout out to Noor, who helped me host an internal for Figma workshop. And lastly, I've worked on some YouTube stuff, like writing scripts and editing some videos. And that's really it from me. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh, wow. You guys did so much work over this internship. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. That is insanity. I know you guys were like a dream team when you're like, okay, Tyler, we're just going to be a team for like the rest of this internship. It's like, okay, all right. You guys can do whatever you want. But I'm really happy with the work that you guys did. I'm very happy that you're all here. And so just to keep going with the same question, what was the most challenging part for all three of you?
Do you want to go first, Jeremy?
Let me think about that.
Okay, I'll go first. The most challenging part about this is to stick with your idea. You know, if you have something, just go for it and keep trying. If there's challenges, there's always someone to lend a hand and kind of pick you up. But yeah, just any idea that you have, get some feedback on it, see what people think. They might even open up new possibilities that are better. And yeah, just don't kind of get stuck on, or don't just tunnel vision onto one thing. Be willing to try different things. Who wants to go next?
I can go. Building off of that, I think, yeah, well, at least the biggest challenge for me at the start was kind of learning how to ask for help. Kind of be like, I don't want to bother anybody else. And then I quickly learned that everybody is super willing to help. And especially these two guys here helped me so much on so many different things. And, whenever I ask for help, they just kind of drop everything and say, oh, join the Discord call and get working on that. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, same for me. I'm a pretty shy person, so the biggest challenge was like opening up and like asking for help. And yeah, it really does help because everyone's really nice here.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that and how everything turned out for all three of you. And thank you so much for this demo. It was very well organized, very well planned out ahead. So congratulations. You have one more week left. I'm super excited to see what you'll do. And will all three of you be presenting together next week as well? Or will you be doing it?
We might. I think we can still make it work because, spoiler once again, I'll be doing some content creation stuff because that's what I've been really focusing on this term. But we've all kind of been working on that. So I think we can present together again. We'll have to talk to each other.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Jeremy, Jesse, and Liam. See you guys. Bye-bye. Get off the stage. All right. Last but not least, we have Hannah. Welcome, Hannah. You've soldiered through the whole thing with me.
Hello.
Are you ready to present?
I am ready. I'm hoping that I'm already sharing my screen. Okay, perfect.
You are indeed. The floor
So yeah,
is
I made a little slide deck for my demo, and my name is Hannah McNerney. I am from the Bay Area, and I've had the privilege of working as an intern on the marketing team this summer. So here is just a little overview of what I've done these past couple of weeks. So like I said, I've been working with the marketing team, which means that I've been doing a lot of content creation, whether it be on TikTok, YouTube, or and/or design. So what we really want to accomplish for Atsign is to, just gain more users, and social media and interactive videos is just a great way to accomplish that. So starting off, whoops. Sorry, is my sound sharing? Oh.
If you unplugged your headphones, it helped. It helped me anyway.
Okay. So yeah, starting with the TikToks, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Try and play the video.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, so we've had a lot of fun making TikToks. We come together several times a week just to brainstorm some new content ideas, and then we go off on our own to make these rather unique videos. And this summer, we've chosen to focus on IoT. So some of our videos just focus on like interns and how much fun we're having. And of course, we also have the focus on IoT. So here are just two TikToks that I want to share with you that I made this semester. And this is the second TikTok.
Fab Five Freddy told me everybody's fly. DJ spinning, I said my. Flash is fast, flash is cool.
So I'm not sure how familiar you all are on TikTok, but we've been jumping on a lot of trends, which can be seen with these two. They were a little cringy showing right now, but I hope you enjoyed them. And please, if you haven't already, go follow our TikTok channel. We're really trying to make it big on there. Moving on, I have gotten to do some voiceovers for our YouTube channel as well. And we have a lot of demos that explain what we do in the IoT space. And like I'm sure a lot of people have mentioned before, just a lot of new videos talking about common terminology that you need to navigate our platform. So here is one of the videos I did a voiceover for. Oh, sorry. I forgot I muted this site. And like I'm sure a lot of people have mentioned this before, series, we demo what just a lot of
has been up to. Yeah, you're playing like 7 videos.
Sorry. App platform has on IoT. With the power of the app protocol, security is ensured to your IoT devices. As the number of internet devices grows, we need to care more about the security and privacy of these devices, and we must be able to keep track of what information goes to whom. Here's a preview of Atsign's demo at MWC, where we'll be presenting a Raspberry Pi with a display and a heart rate and oxygen sensor. The Raspberry Pi already has App Platform on it, and with App Platform, we can choose how much information we want to send to what devices and what people. For example, take a look. This demo measures heart rate and oxygen saturation. The patient can then choose to send all of their health data to their doctor, while only sending their heart rate data to their fitness trainer. With the app platform in play, data.
Okay, so that was just a little snippet of what I've been doing on the YouTube side of things, and it's been really great just learning more about IoT because I came with little to no knowledge about that space. And finally, I've been able to participate in a lot of the workshops that a lot of the interns have hosted. For example, we had a Canva and Figma workshop, and with the Canva workshop, I've been having some fun just exploring the platform and just learning how to make some cool designs. So here's just one of the mock-ups I made for a t-shirt design. And that just about concludes the overview of what I've done with Atsign this past couple of weeks. And I've just had a really great time working with all the great people here and, you know, getting the creative juices flowing. Thank you.
Awesome. Great job, Hannah. It's so exciting to see, like, we have a TikTok now. We're not just a bunch of old people. No, I'm just kidding. That was an attack on the company. But yeah, you guys all brought a life to our company again. I love the internship so much. And thank you so much, Hannah. Final question. What was the most challenging part of all of this for you?
Oh, was I anticipating that question? I think the most challenging part was also kind of the most fun part. Obviously, with social media, so many different kinds of people are on these platforms, which means that everyone has different tastes, and it's kind of hard when you're just getting started to know what's going to click with our target audience. And, you know, obviously we had a lot of videos that flopped and a lot of videos that did a little better. For us, a little better just means like more than 10 likes at this point. But, you know, keeping going, even while knowing that it's going to be hard to make it big, has been a little tough. But, you know, everyone's been really great on the team, and just we're all, I feel like, inspirations to each other, just coming together and brainstorm and making a lot of new videos. And it's just been really fun overall.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you.
And you have one more week left. You'll be presenting something next week, right?
I will not, actually. I think.
All right. Well,
yeah, unless you guys want to see some more TikTok videos. But
I think we're always happy to watch TikToks. But yeah, great work, Hannah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, everyone, that was it. That was the final demo of today. I'm going to play some tunes in the background while I get real with y'all. No, I'm just playing. So thank you guys so much for joining. I'm always so excited to host these demo days, of course. I think my Wi-Fi is starting to go on the poops, so I'm hoping that this is still going. And thank you all for joining. I will see everyone next Friday. And again, a round of applause to the interns and all of the work that they've done over the past 8 weeks. Well, it's been 7 weeks. They have one more week left. I'm very excited to see what they'll do with the last week. And again, thank you all so much. Like, subscribe, comment, click the little bell icon, of course, to see when we post new videos now that the interns are all working on our YouTube videos and whatnot, and shorts. If you haven't watched the shorts, be sure to see them. And with that, happy Friday.